Page 298, Prelude in G minor. This looks like a mess, don't it? I remember back when I was young learning to play, and I would get stuff like this, and I'd look at it and think, oh, 16th notes. Why does anybody ever want to use 16th notes? So if you're looking at it like, ugh, I understand. But if I just use the approach I've been using to learn a piece of music, I'm going to rely on that. And we're going to break these 16th notes down. I look it over, it's 3 lines long, treble bass clef to start, 2 flats in the key signature, so it's either in B flat major or G minor. And if we look at the end, it ends on a G, I'm guessing we're in G minor. Yeah, whatever. Do the scales and arpeggios for both. B flat major, G minor. Okay. And the diminished arpeggio for G. Okay. 4/4 time signature, 1 hand at a time. For the right hand at first isn't too bad. It's here. 2, 3. 1, 2. Now watch out. It's going to be a 5 now. And then a 5. I like that. That's a good fingering on that. I like that. And the thumb covers the other one. That's flat. Measure 4, you're here. Because you're going from here. 2, 3, and then a 3, 5. They're repeated notes. I change hand position. That's all. And then this mess going up. Well, this is a chromatic scale. And in chromatic scales, they will use sharps going up and flats going down. So if you look at measure 5, and measures 5 and 6, you got sharps, but if you look at measure 7, it's got flats. It's just a chromatic scale. So I look at the first note, it's a D. I look at the last note, it's a D, and I'm just going to play all the notes in between. So it's just a chromatic scale. Works most of the time. The problem is occasionally some composers, like Liszt, will leave out a note. So it's not a true chromatic. They'll leave out a note here and there. So you got to watch for that. Just make sure they're all there. And you take it slow. The fingering is the third finger is going to play the black keys. And the thumb is going to play that until you get 2 white keys together. It's going to be 1 and 2. Just a standard fingering. There are other fingerings that can be used, but let's get this one. So we're just going to start here, and I'm just going to go up. And then you do it again going up. Maybe not that fast, but that's the point. We're going up to there. Then we break it down. Real slow. 1 and and you could do this like you do the scales too. I go here at 1. Accent every note. Drop the wrist on the accent. Then every 2 notes. Every 3 notes. Every 4 notes. I suggest use a metronome, but the idea is you get accustomed to it. And really, we should be doing this in both hands. Here. Same fingering, except those. Both hands. And you should go up and down too. Not that fast, but that's the point. It's just accent it. And drop the wrist like we do in the scale videos, real slow and gradually build it up over time, speed-wise. And then at the end, the last 3 measures, just a 5/7 chord, 1. And then here, just a 5-finger thingy. Use the same approach here as you do on the chromatic. Here. Do it 3 times to get it to come out right when you do triplets. And then 4. Accent, drop the wrist, keep them even. Left hand, well, that starts out that way. Those 8th notes, that's just a G minor chord in extended position, and that is the fingering. It's 4th finger on that. Let's crunch up. Now we have a D major chord. 4th finger on the F sharp. They say 3, I disagree. I use 4. If it's an interval of a 3rd or less, I use 4th finger. And then scrunch up. We're doing the same thing as going up until measure 4. Now here's a bit of a challenge for you. You're going from measure 3 to 4. Measure 3, you're here. Measure 4, you're here. No rest, no nothing. You got to get there quickly. The staccato will help, but right now I want to connect them. I can't, but I'm just going to lift up and move. You may have to practice that because you got to be accurate. You got to look at the piano, of course, for that one. Then you're doing. Now measure 5, we have multiple voices. The whole note you hold down all the way through, and while you're holding it down, you can do that. You don't want to be up here, use 2 and 3. Then we come down. Yeah. Then we put the hands together and see what kind of a thing we've got going on here. Well, it's here. Here, you got to do that. I don't know how big your hands are, how fat your fingers are, but if you can, do that in the right hand. For measure 3, yeah. Anyway, you do it. That's just. Then go back over it, maybe a measure or 2 at a time, and get rid of any hesitation. Keep it slow. Here. Steady pulse throughout the whole thing, and use 8th note pulses if you have to. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and go as slow as you gotta go, but get rid of the hesitations so it's smooth from start to finish, rhythm wise. Then we add the articulation, the staccatos and things here. Hinging at the wrist, these are light. The right hand's connected if you can. Now, the right hand, I can't connect that. I can this, so I'm connecting that. Can you do that? I'm lifting up here, I'm holding that down, and I go here. That takes a little bit of practice. But it's good. Will come in handy if you can learn to do that, because we want to connect this right hand. I do that one. I do it. You can do that if you want. I don't know. Or and then here. Now measure 5 here. You're connecting these. Of course, you can't connect that, but pretend you can. Connecting this, I can't connect that, but pretend you can. Huh? So it's. And here, yeah, you get it. So put in the articulation, and then the dynamics. The dynamics is going to apply, in this case, it's almost both hands, but it probably is the hand with the 16th notes. That's what we want to hear. This, keep it down. Now in measure 5, both hands can be moderately loud. It's really the right hand, well, you're finishing off the left hand. So this has been down, but then you can bring it out if you want. But then the 16th notes are soft. All of a sudden, this means this very soft. And you're going to crescendo up to loud. There. Don't get loud to measure 7, so plan it out. You're going to go from sort of, you can go from soft here, a little louder, up to about a moderately soft, moderately loud, and then a little louder, and save most of your crescendo toward the end. So plan it out where it's every 2 or 3 beats, you just get a little louder through the measures 5 and 6. And then you're loud here, now you're loud here. they give you the little arrows here. Those are marcatos. Those are stronger. It's like an accent, but a little stronger. And then nothing. So the measure 8, the half notes, now that's beats 3 and 4, are louder than measure 9. I don't like that effect. I like the feeling of 2 here. So, but that doesn't. But you're loud all through this, you know. I would almost take out that marcato there in measure 8 and just play them loud. Now, speed-wise, it has to be your allegro. Allegro is fast or happy, whatever allegro is. It's the feel of it. It's not the beat. We're not going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's the feel of it. 1. However fast you can play the 16th notes accurately and evenly is your allegro for now. Later on, you go back through these books and play the repertoire pieces for fun. Play it all for fun if you want, but you'll play it faster and better at that time. They've added a little bit of pedal there at the end for the half notes here. Don't know that I like that, but it adds the overtones. Really, that's all it does, because you don't really need to connect these. It's kind of better if you don't connect them. But if you're going to push the pedal down right after you play the notes, change the pedal down right after you play the notes, change it, and lift it with the hands. So there's a little silence before you play the 16th note. Don't connect them. I mean, you could, I guess it's interpretation, but I wouldn't connect them. I would, and the next to the last measure, I would separate the half notes from the 16th and lift up. Just a speck of silence. Depends. If you want the silence, you lift the pedal up with the hands. If you don't want the silence, you lift the pedal up as you're playing the 16th notes. Lift it up. I'm not going to show pedal if that's all they're going to do. I'm too lazy to turn the camera on, but you can do that much, I hope. The fermata at the end, you just hold that out as long as you feel right. In my mind, it doesn't need a fermata at the end, but they put it in there, so okay. If I play it with a metronome, I'll just double the value. I'll hold it for 8 counts instead of 4, because that way I got plenty of time to get bored, I guess, before I go. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm going to put the metronome on 8th notes. I'll give us 4 quarter notes to come in. Now, I'm not doing louds and softs, but I will do the staccatos and things. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Rest. And 1 and 2 and 1 and 4, and off.